The Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group.
Coming through.
A lot of bass in that. Whatever. It's pretty jamming. I think it's pretty cool. I didn't write that myself, but I have to start the show. I had a conversation with my mama, who she's 81 years old. Her name's Gloria Reese, and she's hilarious. And her birthday was last. It was the 30th of November. So happy birthday, Mama. I know she's not listening, but anyway, now we're getting on. Probably traumatizing my next guest, who's a super badass baller, pickleballer. And she's a former doubles national champion. She's a Baylor Bear, Sikkim, right? Am I correct with this?
That's right. You got it. Sikkim Bears.
She's Texas's own here. Her name is, and she's also a 5-0 sponsored player with Head, who I'm going to be shifting with here in a little bit in 2023. And I go on, but I don't want to bore you. She's a lot more intelligent and prettier than I am. And without further ado, we have Amy Yarbrough. How are you, Amy?
I'm doing great, Curtis. Thank you so much for having me on today.
It took us like 10 years to get to get together here. I was like, this she's gonna think I'm psychotic trying to always talk to her, get her on the show, you know?
Scheduling is always the most difficult thing, for sure.
And you are in Austin, Texas, right?
I'm actually in San Marcos, Texas.
I'm sorry. All
where right. Texas State is located. So we're in between San Antonio and Austin.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Are you from the Austin area or San Antonio area? Are you from Texas?
I actually am not. I'm a Midwestern girl from Granville, Ohio.
Oh, you are Midwell. I'm from Kansas, Topeka.
Okay. Well, we're the ones that talk normal, right?
Yeah, we don't say y'all. It's you guys, right?
That's right. Right.
Do you know Charlotte? Do you know Charlotte Rivera? You know her? Charlotte,
yes.
Yeah. Anyway, she came on the show a while back, and her husband is from South America, I believe, and then her mom, she's from Boston, right?
Okay.
I think I got it mixed up right there, but one is from Boston, and the way that her mother-in-law says Texas and Boston, it says "get in the car, y'all."
Yes,
the car.
That's true.
I don't know, whatever. I butchered that one up, but yeah, she's great. Well, so Amy Wynn, tell us your story, your journey to pickleball. I'm sure it's a great one. Let's hear it.
That's that's a very open-ended question, Curtis. So you just feel free to cut me off when you have heard enough, or if you want more of that background. But I pretty much grew up enjoying anything with a ball, right? Played a lot of different sports. My dad, baseball coach, also Division I baseball pitcher at Ohio State University.
Nice.
My mom's a great golfer.
Whoa.
But I have two sisters, and they both went another route than me. So I was kind of the only little tomboy athlete in my family.
That's like me.
But I was fortunate enough to go to Baylor University.
Yes.
My two favorite sports were volleyball and basketball, probably growing up.
Yeah.
And I played basketball at Baylor, and I was an invited walk-on that went to Baylor. And so that was my first experience into Texas.
Wow.
And having guys open doors for me, and the Southern hospitality. So it was a big change, but it was awesome. I loved it from day one that I stepped on that campus.
When were you at Baylor, if I could ask? It's changed a lot, obviously, right? You've probably seen how everything's changed.
It has changed a lot. Yes, Pam Bowers was our coach when I was there in '89.
Nice.
Is when I went to school. I graduated in '93.
Oh, wow.
And then I ended up staying in Texas because my husband, Scott, is actually from San Marcos, where we live today.
I married a Texan too, so you did good.
Yeah. So I got into coaching, and I actually officiated some basketball. Yeah. Because that's what my husband does. He's a college Division I referee, and in college, I only played 1 year, and then I started officiating in order to make some money. Wow. And it definitely made me a better coach. I kind of feel like that should be part of the curriculum for anybody that's graduating with an education degree that desires to go into coaching. I think they ought to have to do some refereeing at least one semester.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great transition, and definitely made me a better coach. So then I had to choose whether to go the referee route or the coaching route, and just always kind of felt like I was going to be a coach. So went that route. And I think what led me to pickleball is I was still playing basketball when I was coaching my team when I was 37 years old, and I tore my first ACL. And at that time, and then I was 40 and coaching at a private school, and that was a great year. We actually won championship in Texas. Yeah. So that's probably my favorite coaching memory. But I tore my second ACL playing a pickup game with my players.
Really?
So yeah, had to learn the hard way. When you're 40, you're not the same as when you're 16. Don't go playing basketball with young people. So multiple injuries, right? That's what led me. I was still pretty active, biking, jogging, swimming.
I could see it already,
man. Out, and I lost, pretty much all of that. I could still swim and I could still bike.
Yeah.
I couldn't play basketball anymore, couldn't jog anymore. And I was working out in my gym and I saw people playing pickleball. This was probably in 2016.
That's so cool.
And that's what piqued the interest. I was like, I wonder if I could do that.
Yeah. So you tore your ACL. So
I started playing in 2017, and here we are.
So you tore your ACL playing basketball with your kiddos. Not your players. They're kiddos.
Yes.
I don't care. If you're a student of mine, if you're an experienced person in life or a non-experienced person in life, you're still my kid. So they're all our kids. So you tore your ACL. I lost a lot of mobility for a while. It's very frustrating because you make me competitive right now. I'm gonna go run up to North Tollway right now. You're pretty intense. Point is, I can see that. But then you went to pickleball. You saw pickleball in a gym, and boom, here we are. Right, 2017 is that what you said you started playing? 18.
Yeah, I played my first tournament in 2017. I probably picked up a paddle for the first time in 2016.
Wow.
And was, it was just an awesome experience to be able to, to be a high level athlete, and God just made me competitive like you and like every other person out there.
My youngest son's like that. Ugh.
And so to be able to find something that fills that void, it was awesome.
That's great. See,
and learning new skill, that's a challenge. It's still part of why I love pickleball, because I'm always learning something new, something different. The game keeps changing, keeps getting better.
I mean, I remember I started in 2018 and got certified by Seymour Rifkin. Actually, he was on my show a few weeks back, and anyway, I was at Bent Tree with Craig Bell and some other pros that a lot of those guys still aren't here anymore. But I fell in love with it too. And when you first start doing it, playing it, and teaching it, you're getting your butt kicked, right? And so, or at least I did, and still do. But it's just the success rate you have when you can't move as fast, like you're talking about. Oh, you were initially, but just making contact with the ball and getting it over and all that stuff made it really, really addicting, right?
Totally. Yes.
So
it didn't take long at all for me to become addicted. And again, the challenge part, because I was, all of us that come in and have a pretty athletic background, it's like, oh, I can do this. But you can do it. Anybody can play pickleball, and we can have them having a great time within 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But to master the skill is a little bit different. And so as athletes, I think it was frustrating when I didn't understand, like, why do I keep popping balls up? And
why do I have to let the freaking serve bounce? That's stupid. The return bounce. God, it was so painful.
You got to put your reps in, right? It takes time to master and to get a lot of control. So
you said the game's changed. Do you? When I first started, I've already talked about the third shot drop, and I was never really sold on it. And I'm not. Please don't anybody listening think that I'm saying anything bad about that. It's an amazing shot. It needs to be used, but it's. I always taught 3 zones, and even whenever it was you're supposed to hit the third shot drop. And again, no disrespect to that, but I felt like there's something missing here, so I decided to add like a middle tier right there, the middle where you got to learn to step back, make a choice, and block or hit a lift dink or something like that, and then get in instead of getting in after that third ball, right? But so be more specific about that when you say the game's changed.
I think the game has changed because the level of play just continues to get higher and higher. I think what used to be a 4-0 is now maybe a 3-5. Wow. I feel like the level of play it's just really changed, especially I play in the senior pro division now.
Yes.
And I still play some 5-0, 35 plus stuff too. But I just feel like from when I first started, it's jumped up a whole ranking.
Mm-hmm. Well, my goal, like I've told some people, is that I'm going to start playing more. Not that I'm amazing, but I really had no time to focus on the game itself. I'm just trying to land a spot somewhere and let somebody learn my craft and trust me to teach pickleball. And obviously, I'm past that stage, which is very tough, and you know that. And anyway, I look forward to. I'm going to be 50 in 2 years, so hey, I'll be. You'll be kicking my butt, or maybe we can play together, and you can yell at me the whole time. I don't know.
That's the best part about pickleball. Turning 50. The best part about turning 50 is pickleball. For real.
Yes, it's not.
Your bracket just got a lot smaller.
It's not the other decades. It's the 50s. So 50's very nifty for us picklers. I love that.
There you go.
Well, okay. Sure. So you said why? You said you just love it because of it's pickleball. I have a question about your camps and all that. How did you create your camps and programs? I mean, what's a simple formula for you?
Oh, that's a big question. I'm going to take you back just a little bit because again, I started playing pickleball. I had just gotten out of coaching. Mm-hmm. And after a couple of years, I was like, no, why don't I do some coaching with pickleball? Try that out. So
pretty good.
In 2020, I had Jeff Contreras built my website for me and did a fabulous job.
Yes, he did.
And then a big shout out to Andrew Mossy at Swing Production because they came in. I don't know if you've been to my website, but all of the introductions that I have on there, which tells a little bit about myself and shows videos. That's all done by Andrew and Swing Production.
Very clean.
I was just blessed to meet them. Mm-hmm. One of those things, met on the courts, was working with them. And then he told me about what he does. And so I was just very fortunate to be around great people to help me get that going because I know the X's and O's of coaching for sure, but building a business and kind of creating something from the ground up was a whole different experience for me. So I had really good people around me that were able to help me get going. So I wanted to throw that out there. And then it's gone crazy.
I know. I've been looking at your videos and
by God's grace, it's just grown so much that I now actually have, I think 6 or 7 coaches working with me. Wow. In order for us to meet the demand. So anywhere from San Antonio to Austin, we can give lessons, run clinics, camps. Yeah. And now I'm kind of getting to where I'm doing more camps and clinics and less lessons, especially less private lessons. And I'm letting all my other coaches that are getting started and moving in the coaching world. I really enjoy working with them too and helping them in their coaching careers. So it's been great. I get to run a camp with Rick Witzkin out of Indiana.
Nice.
AY Ripskin camp. And so we've kind of developed that to the tune now where we just come in, he gets off the plane, we meet and we're ready to go.
That's great.
And we've had a lot of people come through that camp and still probably will have a lot more, I hope. But I think we just saw what the biggest need is. Mm-hmm. As you know, being an instructor, our biggest group is a 3.0, 3.5 level. Yep. They are still really wanting to learn and grasp and have somebody teach them instruction and give them sound fundamentals. So, you start there by who needs us the most and what do they need to work on? So that's kind of how I create my camps and also clinics, just out and seeing like where are weaknesses, where do a lot of people need a lot of work. And so I just take it from there. And sometimes I have ideas when I see other people playing or when I'm playing myself and it's like, I need to run a clinic on this because a lot of us need work on this. So it's all trial and error.
It's inherent with with your dad and mom being competitive, and I'm sure your sisters, but they might be like that somewhere. Everybody's competitive in their own right. I can tell you that.
Yes.
So, I'll tell you right now. I was raised that good things happen to good people. And I live by that. My wife and I do, and I'm not trying to get all corny, but I know I've heard nothing but amazing good things about you, and I know that if you have good pros, it's because it starts at the top. So that's kudos to you, Miss Yarbrough.
Thank you. I was fortunate to have good people around me that helped me get started, and so it's been a great journey. Yeah.
There's a lot more
couldn't
coming
have done
away.
it without them. Again, I'm the X's and O's, and they helped me with the business side of it.
Yep.
Bring the website together and everything. And then, yeah, you're right. You surround yourself with good people, and good things happen.
So we'll go to what we touched on this, but what brand pickleball do you enjoy or you endorse? And what do you use? What paddle or whatever you're using? Paddles.
Okay, so I'm a Team Head sponsored player and also Head Pen distributor. So that's who I have the most familiarity with. And it's been great with getting my business started because of all the coaching things that I can get from Head. Is down to nets, paddles, balls are great for coaching. Even some like my dots and my circles, things that I use for coaching. So it's been a great combination for me to be able to work with Head Pen.
Super important to have dots. Oh my dear Lord, it's so important to have dots for kids, for big kids. And my God,
your dots. Need your targets.
Yes, that's funny. We were talking about that because we got little kids at Green After School. We're starting a pickleball program in 2023.
Great.
And now I'm doing these littles, and they're all just but we love them. But anyway,
that's a different thing there. Yeah, you got to be very creative and play lots of games.
Yes, that's where the leaders have to lead, and our pros there that we have are really they're good too. They're like you know they're doing a good job. It's because we're investing time in them, right?
That's awesome.
Okay, so then certifications. What do you have? USPTA, IPTPA, USPTR. What do you have?
Yeah, I have two actually. I have PPR and I have IPTPA.
Very good. Now,
so that was a good combination because their coaching styles are very different. So I think honestly, between you and I, the best coaches are not ones that are taught something in a certification, but have a coaching background or a coaching experience. And it's more about relating to the people that they're seeing and having a coach's eye,
that is
right?
So true.
If you can't really identify what your client is doing wrong, then they're not going to be helped very much.
If you have a good staff, you obviously have somebody on staff that fits personalities and fits, fits what they're looking for. Some people wouldn't be with me. I'm ADHD and nuts and curse a lot and make fun of you. Not the kids, obviously. The big kids. But I'm pretty intense. Some people don't like that crap. My wife doesn't really care for it. She's like, "You're being a jerk." I'm like, "No, I'm not." So.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Everybody's different, just like us, for sure.
Yep. And so anyway, there's what's your of the three events? There is singles, doubles, and mixed. Why and which one is your favorite? I'm sure you like all of them because you look like an intimidating young lady.
I do like all of them. Unfortunately, singles is not in my game right now because of knee problems. So. That I really don't play much singles. I haven't for a while, but I love mixed and I love doubles. And I think they're very different beasts.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you feel like is the difference? Because typically both players are strong in pickleball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At a higher level, you both better be strong because in pickleball and doubles, it's so easy to isolate. And that's what it makes it hard. I think about partnerships.
Yes.
It's really hard to find that right partner that fits with you, that especially in doubles, that not one person is being isolated and one person gets all the ball. So that is an extra hard thing for all of us to handle. I mean, I have clients ask me all the time, who should I play with? And I mean, it's hard for me. So I just have to tell them the same thing. It's a bit of a journey. You got to see how it works. I think a lot of it is chemistry.
Yes.
I think doubles, I think it's harder in doubles. I think in mixed, it's a little bit more role play. So it's not maybe quite as hard in mixed as it is in doubles to find that partner, because as a female, the ball's coming to you in mixed. So that's just a given.
Yes.
So, to be a steady player, somebody that's consistent and can keep the ball in play, set your partner up.
Yes. Just keep your opponent moving, right? And I'll be there more next year, but when I do this, but in tennis, especially at the college, we get to the last hurrah, nationals, whatever, and you want to figure, the people you're playing, you played them in the conference or whatever, or you played them maybe the year before somewhere, and you'd always have to partner up with somebody on the team who say, like when I played, it was chip and charge all day, every day, underspin serve and all that stuff. So the guys that want to play with me are the guys that hit the ball hard, right? Because I can just angle it off. But I don't know, it's just weird. Too aggressive people sometimes in tennis was not a good thing because you fight over the ball and important shots. But that's a good take on mixed versus just regular doubles in pickleball.
Yeah, it makes a difference. And that's another area where I've seen the game change, honestly, Curtis, is the pace of the ball.
Yeah.
I think at least the people that I'm playing against at the senior pro level, most of them have at least collegiate tennis backgrounds. Uh-huh. And so I think the pace of the game has sped up.
Yes.
I definitely dink a lot more in mixed than I do in doubles.
Mm-hmm. You're a little more aggressive in yeah. I'm weird. I like to angle the ball. Like for example, in the deuce side, I played that all day, and I loved when people served to my backhand because that's the toughest shot in tennis, or it used to be 20 years ago, the backhand return. But on the deuce side, but I just chipped that right out wide every time. And it always went in, and I love changing the direction like that in pickleball, and it's just bad. It's just so much fun. Sorry.
No, I think that's great. I'm a little bit the same. I like to play angles. I like to open up gaps by moving people, and then find the gap. But yeah, I am seeing a lot more just drives, power, pace of the ball in women's doubles especially.
Yes. Well, okay. So of all your endeavors in this sport of pickleball, what's your anything you want to discuss right now, or you kind of touched on your camps earlier, or what are you working on right now?
All my endeavors. Wow. There's been a great road. I think, I'm very proud of AY Pickleball. That's our logo, and what, been able to do as far as helping a lot of people, connecting with a lot of people. I have a lot of great clients that I also call friends.
Good.
So that's kind of part of why I enjoy coaching, is I enjoy seeing their games elevate, hearing their stories, connecting with people. It's not just about go on the court, feed balls, and say, see ya. So I really like the connection part of pickleball with my own partners, but also with my clients. So I think just always developing what's needed, learning to bring new coaches in and have them be a part of AY Pickleball has been great. Allows me to do some different things. And I think another big reason I did that, one, I was driving to Austin way too much, but I think the hardest thing about coaching pickleball and wanting to play at a high level is that combination right there.
Wow.
Because we are on the court feeding balls, coaching, watching what's happening. And then it's really hard to also find dedicated time for you or for me to work on my own game.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge, over the last year and a half, I'm still trying to figure that balance out to how I can, how much time do I need to dedicate to my own game and step away a little bit from coaching. So I think that's the hardest part of the two. And that's always a work in progress. I do think I'm getting better at balancing that, but I still have goals of being able to, play high level, play senior pro stuff. Yeah. There's a great new league that's coming out. Did you see that? The senior pros are going to have a team event.
I haven't seen them. I'm sorry. What is it?
NLP. There are some senior pro players are putting it together where it's going to be like MLP.
Well, let's get them on here, man. I want them on here. I'm trying to get Major League Pickleball in Austin down there. Brooks to call me, and I can't touch with him yet, but we're working on it. Talk to him for me.
They're so busy. Yes, they're so busy. But hopefully we'll also have a senior version of that come in starting in June.
I want to talk to that guy. Can I get him on? You think he'll come on and talk about
it? You could talk to Rick Witzkin.
Yeah, him. That guy. Yes. Rick, I'm calling out you, bro.
All right. Let's go, Rick. He'd be a good source.
We'll get him on there.
Okay.
Well, basically, in going back to the Endeavor question and all that, basically you're becoming a pillar of the community, the pickleball community in Austin and in San Marcos, which is a great area down there. And that's what you're becoming, and a mentor. And that's truly one of the reasons why I love this show, that this has evolved. Thank you, Ren Miller, is I like to hear stories, because everybody's got a story. And I know I have a really weird story, whacked out story to where I got where I was at. We all have stories, and I want people to be able to tell them on here. But at the end of the day, it comes down to just being pickleball. I mean, like you said, you become friends with these people, and then like I said, this new place I'm working at now. I said this in my last show. I don't really care, but this is just an example of all my listeners here, our listeners and players and pros, that pickleball is really a sense of community. But these two players grew up in Chicago. They're both in their early 70s, and we were all sitting there in the rain talking, and then they said, well, I went here, and she goes, oh, the rival high schools, and they grew up 15 minutes from each other and graduated same years, and boom, they're playing pickleball. So that's what you're doing down there, and I think it's awesome.
There's a lot going on. I think I too want to tell you the other part of that. I think that our treasures are where our heart is. Yeah. And the other thing that I'm wanting to kind of bring to pickleball right now is we started a thing called Pickleball Fellowship.
Awesome.
And I'd really like to see that grow. And that's just a community where we can come together and do more than just play pickleball, right? So like when we had our first couple of get-togethers, I just wanted everybody to kind of tell their story. Whether you grew up in church or you didn't grow up in church, or what's your background.
Pickleball Fellowship?
Pickleball Fellowship.
That's cool. See, another good story, man. I guess. Yeah. I guess I'm a good person.
I hope you're going to hear a lot more about that.
I'm sure. I'm sure. That's great. So, let's talk about you real quick and your family and your college and where you grew up and all that stuff. Now it's your platform, not the beginning.
Okay. So Granville, Ohio, great community that I grew up in. Awesome parents. They were my biggest fans. Never missed any sporting event I was in. And now I have two boys.
Yes,
and
me too.
One is a freshman in college at Texas Tech. His name is Cade.
Yes, my wife.
And the other son is about to graduate from Texas State here in San Marcos.
Yeah.
He started at Baylor, but during COVID, that was a rough time to be in college. So he's having a great time finishing up here at Texas State. So two boys. I can't believe I just became an empty nester this year. So life has changed there a little bit too. I just really didn't want to be gone 2 and 3 weekends in a row playing on all these senior pro tour things.
Yeah, now it's your time, right?
I have a little bit more flexibility and freedom now. So my husband's very supportive. Again, he's a very high level basketball referee. And so he's traveled ever since I've known him. Yeah, he's on the road going to different games.
How do you get into that? That's a unique. I've never met. You see him on TV, but I've never known anyone who's.
Yeah, you have to have thick skin. That's for sure. It definitely teaches you to have thick skin.
And you're a boy mom, so you really got
shout out to him. He's one of the best. He's worked 11 Final Fours in his career.
Wow.
So he's pretty high level official. And I don't know where he'll take his career after this season, maybe as a supervisor or something else. But he understands, the travel and the competitiveness and all of that. So my husband Scott's a big supporter of my pickleball growth and my business. He's the business background. So he gets lots of questions from me when I'm trying to figure out something that has to do with the business end.
It's my wife helps me with our business. Believe me, she does the numbers and all that.
It's a lot.
So what's your favorite story to tell about pickleball? Like favorite place to play tournaments or favorite shot? The first one's your favorite place to play. And obviously I have to tell all you pickleballers these pickleball players, that it's not saying you like one place better, but the one that time was very enjoyable. Does that make sense?
That's good.
Because there's so many of them, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just clarifying.
So mine has to be, my national championship 5-0 silver medalist is with Kevin Mark, and that was in mixed.
That's our boy.
Not in doubles, actually, it was in mixed. Yeah. And so Indian Wells is just an amazing venue. You just walk in that place and go, wow.
Kevin said the same thing.
So that probably has to be my favorite venue and my favorite experience. We ended up finishing so late one night. It was cold. It was dark. We had played all day, and it was a total blast.
He said the same thing. All right. What's your favorite shot?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm a two-y on the backhand, so I kind of like a backhand volley.
Oh yeah.
Another shot that actually, believe it or not, I know it's actually not a hard shot, but for some reason it gets me so pumped when I get an ATP.
Oh God. Okay. Tell our listeners who don't know what that means is, or
okay.
pros.
So ATP is around the post shot. And when you're, especially in mixed, when we're doing our cross-court dinking, right? Sometimes the angles tend to get deeper and deeper. And that's when you can take advantage of an around the post ball. And again, another area where the game has gotten higher is when we first started doing ATPs, nobody knew how to defend those. And now a lot of people are doing great at defending them. So it's not an automatic winner, but it's a great shot.
Well, they scoot back for it and go the middle. Okay. That's good. It's defensive. It's good to be able to block. All right. Well, that's the ATP. I know. I was like, I wanted to say what that is because I forgot. But anyway, I didn't do that. So
what's your favorite shot, Curtis?
My favorite shot is the lob.
Oh, you're one of those.
No. The offensive lob at the kitchen line, the no volley zone line. That's the one I like the most. Man.
It's a great shot.
Not the lob back at the baseline.
I don't know if you know this because you can't see me standing up, but I'm not very big. So I tend to get lobbed. So I like to use it myself too. You got to throw it up there before they throw it up there, right?
Yep. I had a mixed doubles partner and that worked with. Her name was Zdena, and she was from the Czech Republic, and she, one of her sparring partners was Martina Hingis growing up. Amazing tennis player. She played at Northeastern Oklahoma. And anyway, she was like you, and we played. We couldn't get beat because she would just sit back and rip them all day, and I'd angle them off and finish it. And so you'd be fun to play with.
That's awesome. Well, I have to say, I'm the setup girl, right?
There you go.
I'm gonna drop, reset. I'm gonna create a pop up and let my partner finish it. Now I'll finish a ball if I get one, but I think I'm known more for kind of my soft touch, dinking, resetting. Those are probably my two strengths.
That's awesome. So I'm glad you approve of my offensive volley lob at the no volley zone.
They're so hard to read, right? If somebody takes a volley and lobs it, you have no time to react. I love that shot.
I like to point it out to the odd side corner. It really pisses people off because they try to run around.
Yes. And it's frustrating to play against a good lobber.
Yeah. Because nobody. Well, a buddy of mine had told me that the best definition of a lob is surprise, and that's what I like it already because that was years ago. He told me that, and I'm thinking I lobbed all the time, and especially in dubs because people don't expect it and they don't like it.
That's exactly right. That's a clinic that always seems to fill up when I'm doing lob clinics.
Really?
Wow. But I think primarily I always start with the defensive side of that because it seems like every injury I've seen happen in pickleball was from people backpedaling. So we always start off with the footwork of retrieving a lob.
Retrieving, yes. Difference between that and tennis, retrieving pickleball. That's a good verbal cue right there. I'm going to use that. So these are fun questions here. What's your favorite band or song right now? Right now, I was coming in. I was all pumped and nervous to meet you, so I had to crank up some Misfits, Where Eagles Dare. It's an old punk band from Detroit. What's yours? Right now, talk to me.
That's a hard question because I usually have music on. I'm not a big TV person, but I do like to have music on in the background. I'd say I'm probably going to have country music, pop music, or Christian music on. Those are my three go-tos.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I love the old, you're going to make fun of me, but I am a Taylor Swift fan and Ed Sheeran fan.
That's so hard to be nice right now, but I'll be nice. Those people are very, very, very so hard. They're very good, talented artists.
Yeah. But I love country music too. So
they're not bad. They're not bad.
Wow.
Okay.
You know who Tomlin is?
Who?
Chris Tomlin.
I know. I do not.
Okay, so you're going to have to listen to this song, Thank You, Lord.
Okay.
And it's a great way to start your day. So that's probably the song that I have on the most because it helps me start my day and just thinking about the things I have to be grateful for. So it's called Thank You, Lord. So listen to that.
Chris Tomlin, you got it. And we also need to also not forget about the Pickleball Fellowship. And then, okay, what's your favorite movie right now or your binge? Right now, my wife and I are watching Schitt's Creek.
That's funny. Yeah. I do like that one. Probably a couple things. I've watched a show on Netflix called Made.
Oh.
And if you haven't seen it, it's a great. The other thing that I do besides this crazy pickleball business is I have a nonprofit organization called Giving Hope. And we are about to have our big event on Sunday. And that is where we reach out to, we've actually invited 91 families that are our under-resourced families in our community.
Great.
we've got very large group in our community of under-resourced people. So it's an event that we put on that provides groceries, blankets, toys, sleeping bags.
Wow.
And we bring these people in. It's just a bunch of Christians who come together and put this on. And the show Made reminds me of that because it shows the story of a girl that is in an abusive relationship. She's on her own and she works really hard to get some help. Wow. And so I have an attraction to that show because of my Giving Hope story. We have a lot of ladies like her that we try to support. So Made, you need to go watch that. I also like Inventing Anna. I just finished that. That was pretty good. Inventing Anna.
What's that on?
It's about, I still don't know if it's true or based on a true story, but she pretended to be a socialite from Germany.
Oh, yeah, dude. She was weird. Oof, yes.
That was like very interesting, though. Can you see how that could happen in today's world?
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, they say history repeats itself sometimes. All right, okay, what's your favorite sports team? Mine's the Chiefs, obviously. And then, let's see here. I love me some Stars and some Rangers.
Nice. Okay, I have to admit that I'm not a huge pro sports person. I'm a big college sports fan.
That's nothing wrong with that.
I don't watch a lot of pro stuff. I'm one of those that, like in basketball. I like to see the play set up and run and the masterminding behind that. And I feel like at the pro level, it's more like one-on-one, baby. Let's go.
So, yeah, a quick funny story is when I first met my wife, we were something happened. She ended up, everybody's getting up to leaving, and it's like 6:30 in the morning, and I was getting ready for work, and I go, "Where's everybody going?" And Mel goes, "I don't know where the hell they're going, but it's game day." And walks out the door. I'm like, "Oh my God!" My brother comes out of the room and goes, "If you let this one go, I'm gonna kill you."
Uh-oh.
So she loves college football and college sports. That's just how it is. So it's okay. I understand that completely.
Okay, very cool.
What's your favorite pet? I have Chief and
my
Gus.
Dogs.
Yes. Yeah. I have Chief. He's a Labradoodle, and Gus is a Havanese. They're nuts.
Nice. So you're a dog fan too.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So it was one thing nobody knows about you. It's funny. I'll tell you what mine is. I have a couple thousand records, and I have a decent stereo, and I'm addicted to vinyl. That's going to be part of my show one day, but I'm addicted to music, records.
Very cool. No, that's a kind of a neat little thing. So one thing that a lot of people don't know about me, but it's not really funny, but I'll tie it in to how it becomes funny. So my clients that, I meet and see a bunch of new people. So I've had to kind of figure out a way to remember names because I feel like that's important when you're coaching. And what they don't know is that back in 2000, I was in a very serious car accident, and I'm actually a head injury survivor. So for some reason, God decided to allow me to continue living on this earth because it was that bad of one of those fatal ones. But after relearning how to write, relearning how to figure out numbers, I was 29 when this happened. And so probably through about 6 months of 4 different types of therapies, I kind of turned the corner. And so still to this day, my short-term memory is not great. So, I went from having to write little notes everywhere I went about everything to now it's just a game that I use when I'm remembering names when I work with clients.
That's cool.
So I have to kind of match their name up with something. Yesterday I gave a camp and there's a girl named Kimberly and I had a hard time remembering her name, and she always looks beautiful. She's totally made up. Her makeup is perfect. She's got cute little outfits on. And so, for example, I started calling her Kappa Kimberly, because she reminded me of like a Kappa Gamma sorority girl, right?
Oh, God. So
usually all of my clients and campers have 2 names, and it is what allows me to remember their names. And they're all matched up. But so that's kind of funny, but it works for me. Again, just being able to live life, play sports, all the things that I'm doing after what I went through years ago is huge. So,
well, if it's any consolation, I had a cardiac arrest in 2015, and I had a severe head injury, and I know exactly what you're talking about. But point is, I understand from that aspect, but I do know everything is a lot brighter after you go through something like that. So that is correct. Sure.
So I have a question for you, because this changed when I went through that. And then you remember the movie that came out that talked about all the head injuries happening with football players?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like I kind of lost a little bit of my love for football.
Really?
Because of living through that and having a head injury and having
I've lost long-term.
I know what they're going to experience later, and they're choosing to do it. Right. So I'm like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Just, it's not worth it.
But the speech, and I had to put PVC pipes together. It was a different world, but I was for a month down here in Dallas Presby, but we're still here. So that's what's very important. And so listeners, you're the best. But now, how do our listeners, current and future pickleball professionals, contact you for employment or maybe come to your camps or take some stuff from some of your amazing staff? How would they get in touch with you?
Thanks, Curtis. So we'd love to have them. So they can just go to my website, amyyarbroughpickleball.com.
Very nice.
And I've got everything listed on there. It tells a little bit more about me. It tells more about what we offer every month, and you can register on there. I'm actually giving a camp in West Palm Beach, Florida in January with a good friend, professional senior pro player of mine, Mark Milner. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be in Boca Raton right before the APP tournament. Mm-hmm. So come go to camp and then stay and play in the tournament with Mark and I. And it'll be a great week of pickleball in January.
Let's get Mark on here. Let's get Mark on here. It'll be fun.
That would be fun. He would be a great one to have on there. Sorry, man. I can connect you with a lot of people, Curtis. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't my intention, but now it is. Damn it. Let's do this. So, all right. Well, I can be reached I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Would you like to come back on some point in time?
I would love to, Curtis.
Maybe come in the studio and we could see how tall you really are. Cause like Dirk Nowitzki's coming in here at, I don't know, later in the afternoon. So can't beat that height, right?
Yeah, no, that would be amazing. I want to get in there and meet you face to face.
It'll happen.
Kevin told me you took him out for a drink afterwards. So come on, Curtis.
That's what we do. Well, anyway, I can be reached, Curtis at reesebracketsports.com. If you have any ideas or questions about the show, or maybe you want to try to come on, I'd love to hear from you. I'm also on Instagram and the Facebook, like I think Amy is too, right? Because I think that's where I saw you.
Yeah. Yep. Amy Yarbrough Pickleball.
Yeah, I follow her too. I don't think she follows me yet. But anyway, listen, all of you people, please check out any show we have on our vocal umbrella, because there's a mood for everything. And if you see somebody that's on the fence, like if Amy ever sees me hesitating to play with her, she's going to grab my arm and she's going to say, "Come on, let's pickle." AY, have a great weekend, and thanks for coming on. You're the best.
Thanks, Curtis. I really appreciate it.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Coming through.